It's clear that the Lakers and Westbrook need to part ways. We saw that pretty early on last season. It was so bad that many wanted Westbrook to be traded at the trade deadline. However, this offseason will prove that their decision not to trade him at that time was the right one. The main reason the Lakers haven't traded him yet is because there haven't been any good offers. Teams knew that the Lakers were in a desperate situation and were trying to take advantage of them. Another reason is that there was the slightest of possibilities that maybe the Lakers could figure it out if they were all healthy. And there was an even smaller, near impossible chance that Westbrook would opt out of his contract, meaning the Lakers wouldn't have to trade him at all and just be free of his contract completely. Although that technically is still a possibility, since he hasn't made an official decision yet. But still, that's not gonna happen. That would mean Westbrook basically throwing away $42 million. If he does that, that would mean his IQ was not just low on the court. But at the trade deadline, there was a deal on the table that would send Westbrook to the Rockets and John Wall to the Lakers. Not a very good deal for the Lakers. It would be a lateral move at best. Russell Westbrook has been the better player throughout their careers, and we aren't even sure how good or how healthy John Wall actually is because he didn't play all of last season. But the worst part was the Lakers had to give up a first-round draft pick in the deal. This would have put the Lakers in a terrible position for the future. But fast forward to the offseason, and that deal is reportedly still on the table. But now, the Lakers don't seem as desperate. By holding on to Westbrook till the offseason, the Lakers have opened up more opportunities to trade him. With more potential trade partners, the Lakers have increased their leverage and are in a better position than at the trade deadline. $47 million is an insane amount of money. But at the end of the day, it's an expiring contract, which is actually attractive to a lot of teams. Teams with cap space can take on that contract for assets like draft picks, and then he's off the books the next season. Or teams looking to unload some bad contracts of their own that go for multiple years, they could look to trade for Westbrook's contract, which ends after this season. So there are more teams that would be interested in Westbrook. And now we're seeing that happen with the trade rumors already popping up. Now there's a rumor about a potential Westbrook deal with the Pacers. This would include Buddy Hield, who the Lakers have been linked to and almost had if the Westbrook trade didn't go down. And it would also include Malcolm Brogdon, an excellent player, but he has had his injury issues. And he has a pretty expensive contract. But if he didn't have the injury issues, he probably wouldn't be available for trade. None of these trades are going to be perfect. You're getting rid of Russell Westbrook. Teams know that he's going to be a negative value, especially with such an expensive contract. So you're going to have to give up something to get rid of him, or take on something bad in return, such as an expensive injury-prone player. There's another potential Westbrook trade with the Charlotte Hornets. The trade would include some combination of Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, and Terry Rozier. Again, not a perfect scenario. You're taking on some big contracts that go on for multiple years, and a player with injury history. But again, this trade is available because it would benefit both teams by offloading some unwanted contracts. But the Lakers would get back big wing players that they desperately need, and or a solid scoring guard in Rozier. The Pacers would be able to offload the big contracts that go on for multiple years in exchange for taking Westbrook's expiring contract that comes off the book next season. These two deals have popped out right when the season ended, and they're already better than the deal the Rockets offered at the trade deadline. Who knows how many more teams will offer something for Westbrook? Situations change when the offseason officially starts. Maybe a team actually finds themselves in need of a point guard. But the more options the Lakers have, the more leverage they have. And they won't have to settle for a terrible deal. We just have to wait and see what becomes available.